Welcome to this beautiful column, known as the Column of Marcus Aurelius. This Doric column, covered in brilliant relief, stands impressively tall on the Piazza Colonna. The monument, also known as the Aurelian Column, commemorates the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius and his military campaigns. Before going into detail about the monument itself, I'd like to tell you a bit more about the man it was raised to honor. Marcus Aurelius was a Roman emperor during a time when the northern provinces of the Roman Empire were under heavy stress. Nobody knows exactly why the tribes, in what are now the Czech and Slovak republics, became so violent at this point in history. Several different barbaric tribes were raiding along the northern borders and across the river Danube, causing chaos and destruction in the Roman provinces. One of the tribes was the Germanic tribe known as the Marcomanni. The other one was the Sarmatians, a people of ancient Iranian origin who migrated from Central Asia and settled in the southeastern part of Europe. Marcus Aurelius, who was more known for studying philosophy, shouldered the burden. In order to keep control over the area, Marcus Aurelius himself personally led the struggle against the Germanic tribes and the Sarmatians for the remaining time of his life. Many people have actually seen these battles on screen, even though they might not know it. The struggle against the Marcomanni is depicted in the popular movie Gladiator during its very first minutes. After Aurelius' death, his son, the newly crowned emperor Commodus, quickly wound down the wars and declared that his father had won them. As a way of celebrating the victory and his father, he had this beautiful column raised. Exactly when the column was raised is hard to say, but an inscription found in the vicinity attests that the column was completed in the year 193. The column was most likely intended to be part of a larger complex, including a temple to the deified Marcus Aurelius. However, there are no such remains left that indicate that anything else was actually built. In terms of the topography of ancient Rome, the column stood on the north part of the Campus Martius, in the center of the square. Today, the column itself has given name to the surrounding square, Piazza Colonna. It is considered by Romans to be the very center of the city. The column consists of almost 30 blocks of Luni marble. It is modeled after the nearby Trajan column, which can be found a few hundred meters south of this column. The spiraling relief tells the story of Marcus Aurelius' struggle against the northern enemies. The lower part of the column tells the story of how the Roman army crossed the river Danube and fight the Marcomanni. The upper part shows Marcus Aurelius' victory over the Sarmatians. The head of the figures in the relief are made disproportionately large on purpose, so that the viewer can better interpret their facial expressions. You can probably see the amazing level of detail on the relief, even though it can be hard to spot from the ground. The pictorial language in the relief is unambiguous. The column depicts villages being burnt down and women and children being killed and captured by the tribesmen. It also emphasizes the imperial army's dominance and authority. The column has been the subject of a large restoration project, which is rather rare. The fact that it has been restored is not rare, but the time it happened is. The column was restored by order of Pope Sixtus V as early as 1589. The restoration included repairing and removing damaged and badly eroded decorations and inscriptions. During the project, the base of the monument was also lowered down to the ground to create stability and a new inscription was added to the renewed base. The inscription, however, mistakenly addresses Marcus Aurelius' predecessor, Antonius Pius, instead of Aurelius himself. The inscription says, "Sixtus V, Supreme Pontiff, restored this spiral column, dedicated to the Emperor Antonius, sadly broken and ruinous, into its original form in 1589, in the 4th year of his pontificate." Another major change that affected the column during the restoration was the addition of the statue at the top. Originally, the column was most likely crowned by a statue of Marcus Aurelius, but it was lost before the 16th century. For this reason, Sixtus V ordered that a new statue should be placed at the top. This new statue, which is the same that stands today, was not of Marcus Aurelius, but of St. Paul. Unknown to many is that there is actually a stairway inside the column. Hundreds of steps lead up to the small observation platform at the top. If you look closely at the column, you can spot several tiny windows through the relief, which leads light into the stairway. Another thing that many don't know is that the upper part of the column is displaced a bit due to an earthquake. The twisting movement can be seen right at the middle of the column, where the battle versus the Marcomanni ends and the battle versus the Sarmatians start.